Recently, I shared a number of videos on the advanced use of OpenCloud for you. This video continues to share with you the advanced usage of OpenCloud. In the previous video, I have demonstrated this one I developed to improve OpenCloud memory ability, but this plugin was not perfect enough at the time. At present, this memory plugin has added a lot of new functions, includes smart extraction.
Here's a quick sponsor message. This AI API aggregation platform for domestic and international large models lets you access 500 plus AI model APIs at lower cost and with faster integration. Kling v3 is priced at $0.07, and the Nano Banana 2 costs $0.025 per call. Overall pricing is only 20% to 80% of the official rates, with token costs as low as RMB 0.05 per million. It also offers an online playground, so you can freely use text, image, and video models with unlimited concurrency. If a request fails, you'll be refunded. Just click the link in the video description to go directly there. If you want discounts or run into any issues, join our Discord community for prompt support, or add customer service and send the message 6 for one-on-one assistance. Alright, back to the video.
Compared to when I first started playing, this plugin is currently good enough. And memory-lancedb-pro allows OpenCloud to truly evolve itself, thus making OpenCloud smarter and smarter. And this plugin, it has also been officially recommended and recognized by LensDB. This video will demonstrate and explain to you how to use this plugin. Let's make our OpenCloud smarter. And for novice users who will not deploy by themselves, I will also explain in detail how to install it in a smarter way. This eliminates the need to execute complex commands. The beginning of a good video. Let's take a look at the memory-lancedb-pro plugin first. What are his current advantages? And what powerful features have been added? First of all, we can take a look at the core of this plugin. The most powerful features. Smart extraction function. There is a new smart extraction function. Our plugin works better than other open source plugins on the market. And Grok also uses this plugin I developed as the main community popular plugin. Let's take a brief look at the powerful advantages of intelligent extraction. In order to allow users who have not learned RAG and other knowledge points, you can also understand what are the advantages of our new intelligent extraction. Below I will use the most popular way, so that everyone can understand it in depth. First, let's take a look at the detailed process of intelligent extraction. Its core code is in this file. We can think of this intelligent extraction as a memory secretary. After listening to our conversation with AI, he can automatically pick out points worth remembering. It will also search for whether similar content has existed before. Avoid storing the same memory repeatedly. Below we can use it in OpenCloud. Practical examples to test this effect. In OpenCloud, use the oblique command to open a new session. Below we can enter the prompt word to test. I entered the prompt because I like to do programming tasks with Cloud Code and Codex, and told him that his favorite programming languages are TS and Sharp. He also told him that he didn't like to use passing. Then we send it directly. He would say directly that he had written down the programming tasks that would involve the future. By default, Cloud Code and Codex code are used, and TypeScript and Sharp are preferred without touching passing. Then we can use the Hong Kong command to open a new session. After a new session, it will not be included in the current painting. We told him this. Now we can ask him in a different way. Let's test if he remembers these preferences we just mentioned. Then I asked him, what is my technical station? Then we send it straight to see if he exists and can retrieve it. I just told his technical station here. He correctly retrieved the programming language preference of the technical station I was using. TS and Shop. This is no problem. It's okay if you don't like passing development tools. He even retrieved the conversation I had with him before. I like to use Codex code for code review and Cloud Code for code review. He also retrieved the OpenCloud plugin I maintained. I even know that I have multiple private repositories under GitHub, and he mentioned that this is accumulated from daily interactions. Then we can also ask him if he retrieved it from LensDB. Here, he said he retrieved it from LensDB's long-term memory, and everyone mentioned that he is using this plugin of our LensDB. Like the process just now, we have a conversation with OpenCloud. The large model then extracts the relevant content, then do vector prescreening, and then judge by the large model is to create new memories, or merge into previous memories, or just skip it, because for content that is not worth remembering, it doesn't need to be written into long-term memory. Then we can enter something that doesn't matter. See if he will save it in long-term memory. I entered that the weather was nice today, suitable for going out and sending it directly. Then he responded to what we typed. We can open another one below. Session. See if he will save this topic in his long-term memory. Then we can enter the prompt, what is suitable for today. Then send it directly to see how he responds. Okay, it can be seen that the answer he gave was to take advantage of the weekend to do the project. Let's see what new developments in AI this week and sort out the to-do items. The answer he gave was the same as what we told him just now. Today has nothing to do with the topic of going out for a walk. The topic we just talked about is not suitable for long-term memory at all. So it is not stored in long-term memory. We can also ask him to retrieve his long-term memory. What are the latest 2 or 3 memories about? The prompt I mentioned is to retrieve the latest memories in LanceDB. Is there anything about going out and listening? Then we send it directly. Okay, here he replied that he had no memory of going out. He filtered it out intelligently. This irrelevant content we just told him. He would not have stored these irrelevant content in the LanceDB. This is the most powerful part of this new intelligent extraction feature. It extracts what really matters in our conversation with OpenCloud. It can truly serve as a long-term memory, and will not store some irrelevant content in memory. In this way, he was able to automatically pick out the key points that really needed to be memorized. It also detects whether such content has been stored before to avoid duplicate recording, considering that many OpenCloud users may be in 2024. At that time, I didn't read these tutorials related to RAC that I posted, so this memory plugin is related to large models and vectors. I will not focus on explaining it here, in order to facilitate the smooth installation of this plugin. Below I recommend 2 smarter ways for you. The smartest way to install this memory plugin for our OpenCloud, thus making our OpenCloud smarter and smarter. In the previous video, the deployment method I will show you is that we directly copy the link to this repository, then enter the natural language description directly in OpenCloud. Let him install this plugin for us. But considering what everyone uses in OpenCloud, these models may not be very powerful. For example, some use open source models in OpenCloud. Also consider that the versions of OpenCloud that you install may not be the same. Some users may be using very old versions. Some users may update daily. OpenCloud. So here we have prepared 2 installation methods. The first installation method is to install directly through the script. Then you just need to follow these 2 according to the instructions given in the documentation. Command or these 3 commands can be installed. However, the scripted installation may not work with all OpenCloud versions. To achieve smarter results, here I have developed a skill specifically for our memory-lancedb-pro plugin. You can understand this skill especially for AI agents. Write user manuals and documentation when OpenCloud Cloud Codecadex. After the AI intelligent body is equipped with this skill, he can check the instructions for use. For our memory-lancedb-pro plugin, installation method, usage method, how to configure and the best workflow, there is a more in-depth and detailed understanding. In this case, you don't need to check the configuration method in this documentation. Let OpenCloud automate the installation for us. Even for beginners who don't know programming at all, it can also be automated in a programming tool such as OpenCloud. Install this plugin for your own crayfish. Then we can install this skill into our OpenCloud. Can also be installed to Cloud Code, and it can also be installed into Codex. It can also be installed to Antigravity or Cursor, and all AI programming stations or AI agents that support skill. In order to install the following specifically for OpenCloud, I demo it right in OpenCloud. I'll copy the link to this repository first, then we go back to OpenCloud. Here I can start a new session. Below we can enter the prompt in OpenCloud. The prompt I entered was to install this scale for me. We will follow the full link of this scale later. We can send it directly. Let OpenCloud install this skill first, because the process of installing skill is very simple. There will be no errors, or OpenCloud completely crashes after installation. With this scale, we can use this scale below. Let OpenCloud help us install the memory-lancedb-pro plugin. In OpenCloud, we can directly input natural language descriptions. The prompt I am talking about is through this skill. Tell me how to install memory-lancedb-pro from scratch. Then we send it directly. He will lead the line to retrieve the corresponding installation method from this scale. I have solidified multiple mounting methods into this scale. So OpenCloud will read this scale here. To answer this question, we can take a look at his answer. He said that he had chosen this combination on my machine, here. It is the jungle installation method he given, and here is the recommended method given. Install via OpenCloud Plugin Manager. Then here are also given these two methods, which one is the easiest. Then here is the choice of configuration plan. Because after installation, we also need to set up these APIs. Includes an API for embedding models, an API for reflowing. There is also an API for large models. He gave these three solutions, including the simplest plan, the most cost-effective plan. There are also the most functional solutions. Then everyone can choose their own plan. And here he gives us how to get the API key. We only need to click on the link to register the corresponding API key. For example, here we use Gina's API key. Then we only need to enter the background to register the API key. If your Gina API key is not available, now we can continue to ask me about the data. It's my Gina. There is no quota for APIs. Is there a local model that can replace the online one? Then we send it directly. He will recommend a local deployment solution for us. In this case, we don't need to apply for these online APIs anymore when deployed locally. Okay, here he will output the local solution. One Olimar can be installed. The installation method is given here. How to pull these models is also given. And here he gives a very good matching plan. And if you can't understand what he gives, for example, you don't know what Euler is at all. I don't know what an embedded model is at all. Then you can enter natural language directly. I am Xiaobai. I don't understand anything. Please follow your understanding. Automatically help me configure it, and then send it directly. OpenCloud will then solidify these processes based on the skill. Automate configuration for you with the best on-premises scenarios. If you are not a novice, you have learned rack-related knowledge. Then you should know what ORAMA is and what an embedded model is. Then you can use your own understanding. Let OpenCloud help you match. For example, I can enter an embedding model and select this model. Then the large language model chooses the original model. When we meet, you only need to enter the matching plan. OpenCloud will then set it up for you automatically. When embedding models, as well as large language models, after the real setup, we can continue to ask questions. I'm for prompts. Yes, if they are all set. So what functions do you need to turn on to ensure the best memory effect? Then we send it straight here. He listed these features that need to be turned on. And if you still don't understand these functions, what role does it play? We can also describe it with natural processes below. Let him open the best matching plan for us. Then we can enter the prompt. I don't understand what you mean by the core features you give. As you understand, unlock valuable features for me to make you smarter. Then we can send it directly. Let OpenCloud fully automate based on this skill of ours. Unlock these features that are truly valuable to us. Here below. He gives these parameters for these retrieval tuning. For users who don't understand these parameters at all, we can let OpenCloud adjust these parameters to the best state. Then we can directly enter the prompt. I don't understand what retrieval tuning parameters are, you tune them to the best state for me. Then we just need to send this sentence. OpenCloud will automatically adjust it to the best state for us. Once all of this is configured, this memory plugin is basically fully usable. Before use, we can also make OpenCloud automated for us. Test whether it writes and retrieves normally. The prompt I said was that I was not sure if the memory function was turned on. Please test the write and retrieval memory for me. Then we send it directly. Okay, here he outputs quickly. Our Gina key has no quota. Here he gives two solutions. The first is to install the ORAMA. For faster testing, I find another Gina key. Okay, just now I entered a new API key. Let him continue the test. Okay, here he outputs and writes successfully. Like the models that OpenCloud recommended for us just now. Many of them are online under the model. We can also ask him to fully recommend multiple models with local arrangements for us. The prompt I entered is to list the support of all local models of this plugin. Send directly. Okay, here is a list of local models related to the embedding model. There are also native models related to language models. And if everyone feels that the models he gave are older, we can also ask him directly about the model. Which new open-source Genuine series models can be used? He listed these models of the 1000 Questions 3 series here. For embedding models, we can also ask him to embed the model. Which latest models are supported? And here he lists the latest embedding models. And if you don't know which one to choose, it also allows him to give the best match for the local embedding model. Okay, here he gives this Gem 3 sign model. With our scale, it is equivalent to giving OpenCloud a reference book for our memory plugin. When we ask any of these questions related to this plugin, he will also retrieve our skills. Then we are given an answer based on what is retrieved. It can also help us install our plugin fully automatically. And our project has been entrusted to the organization. Everyone is welcome to actively participate in the development of the project. Currently, The project has reached more than 20 contributors, and it reached 2.4 star. The notes used in this video, I will put it in the description bar or comment area below the video. This is the end of this video. Welcome to like, follow and forward. Thank you for watching.